Okay. Here we go as promised. Here is my video about both Alpo and Ms.Tee. Now, I have a warning for any women that have secretly fantasized about being with Alpo, whether dating him, being intimate with him, being friends with him. You might not want to listen to this video because it's going to be very triggering. And for the men out here, the same applies to you. If you have been fantasizing and dreaming of being with Ms.Tee, or maybe you just wanted to be her friend, whatever it is, you might not want to listen to this video because it's going to be very triggering. These are my thoughts on both Alpo and Ms.Tee's relationship, and it's also like a mini review of her book, Beautiful Gangsta. So with that being said, here goes. Okay, so last year, and I want to say September, I bought her book, Beautiful Gangsta. I have two of her other books, her first one that she came out with, and she got another one called Reflections. So I really enjoyed those books, especially her first one. So, of course, she got Beautiful Gangsta. And I'm like, okay, let me check this out. And honestly, it was more than what I expected, you know? Um, the reason why I say it was more than what I expected was because she really went in depth about her relationship with Alpo. And to me, it's such a beautiful love story, and it was heartfelt. I just got done reading it again for the second time a couple of days ago because I wanted to have everything fresh in my mind so I can do this video. But it I can't stress enough, it was such a beautiful story, and it's so heartfelt, you know what I'm saying? Because their love was truly unexpected and organic, you know. She met him through someone else, and it was just supposed to be business. And she never thought that she would fall in love with Alpo. Alpo never thought he would fall in love with Ms.Tee. Honest to God, it just happened. They met, talked business, and he liked what he saw. He was very attracted to her. And so he, was like, hey, we got to link up again. I want to take you out, da da da. So she was like, okay, cool. And they would, but he lived at this time in Maine, and of course, Ms.Tee lived in Harlem. So, kind of long distance. So, they would talk on the phone a lot, deep conversations, lighthearted conversations, a lot of laughter, constantly texting each other just every day, all day. Um, Kind of how when we were like teenagers, how you had your first little crush, your first boyfriend, your first girlfriend, and you constantly calling them, texting them, whatever. Well, back when I was in high school, we ain't had texting. I graduated high school in 2007, so yeah. But but y'all know what I mean. It just kind of gave the feeling of like, ooh, like a puppy love type of thing, and it was really vibrant and exciting, and that's what they had. So anyway, long story short, he finally comes back to Harlem, and well, before he even came to Harlem, she was falling in love with him, and she had nobody to really talk to, so she kind of kept it to herself. And Alpo was also falling in love with her. And so when he came to Harlem to visit her, um, they talked, they laughed as they typically do. They made love, and I think after that it was really official. I mean, it was on and popping. Honestly, there's no other way to put it, you know. And their bond, they already had a strong bond before they even made love. But after they made love, and then way after that, their bond just became stronger and stronger. Now, I know that Miss T will say that they were not exclusive, and okay, cool, they wasn't, but it was still a relationship. You know what I'm saying? When I think of relationships are not always typical. When I mean typical, it's not like sometimes you can be in a relationship, but it's not exclusive. What I mean by that is, y'all haven't officially became girlfriend and boyfriend, you know what I'm saying? But it's still a form of a relationship. I'll put it to you like that. He didn't like her talking to other men. He was very jealous and possessive over her. And she had her moments where she was jealous too, but not like Alpo. Now, in my opinion, Alpo was a little bit more into Ms.Tee than she was into him, because he was really possessive and obsessed with her. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to give every little detail away in the book like that, but I mean, this man pulled a gun out on her, and at one point he squeezed her hand very hard. So y'all gotta read the book to not figure out, but you have to read the book to see why he pulled the gun out on her, and you have to read the book to see why he squeezed her hand really hard. But now the reason why, okay, I'll give you another clue. She was with another man when he squeezed her hand really hard. That's all I'm gonna say. But Ms.Tee wasn't doing stuff like that to him. He was doing that stuff to her. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I just kind of felt like, well, he was probably a little bit more into her than she was into him. And he was definitely obsessed with her, and he couldn't hide it. Alpo was a very passionate type of man. And she's passionate too, but Alpo is kind of like it's uncontrollable almost. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like Ms.Tee could control her passion, Alpo couldn't. You know what I'm saying? So we'll just put it like that. And I didn't forgot where oh God. See, I done went off on something else and I forgot what I was about to say. But Alpo was what I really respect about it, and I think is beautiful. Alpo showed up for Ms.Tee. He was always there for Ms.Tee. Morning, afternoon, or night, didn't matter. Whenever she called, that man came. And I mean that literally and figuratively. Like, I'm so serious. Like, I mean that in a literal and figurative sense. Like, whenever she called for him, he came through for her. You know what I'm saying? He didn't make excuses. He didn't say, oh, I'm tired, or I just saw you the other day. And it's like, whatever that woman needed and whatever she wanted, he came through for her. No excuse, no nothing. He was happy to do anything for her. And she was the same way. So I really love the fact how they both showed up for each other no matter what. They both had a lot of respect for one another. They both had amazing communication with one another. Obviously they was both very attracted to each other. So I mean, that's kind of obvious. But their relationship, their love was beyond physical. It was beyond sexual, it was beyond intimacy. It was so much more than that. He really did love her, and he really did respect her, and that's so important. You know what I'm saying? I tell women that's younger than me, I'm 35 years old, but I tell women in their 20s and teens, my niece is about to be 20, and I tell her this: if a man wanted to, he would. And that's just what it is. If he simply wanted to, he would. Okay? So if your man is not showing up for you the way you want him to, Well, ma'am, I don't think he like you for real. Now with Alpo, I know for a fact he really liked Ms.Tee. He didn't just love her, he also liked her, you know? So because it's a difference. You could love somebody and not really like them. But Alpo loved her and he liked her and he respected her. Okay? And in the book she says, no matter what he did with other women, when we were together, it was all about Ms.Tee. And hey, that's all you can really hope for. Alpo is is a wild man. He can't be tamed. And she wasn't trying to tame him. She wasn't controlling. She wasn't thirsty over him. And I mean that in the sense of like, baby, when are you going to call me? Baby, when are we getting married? When are we going to be exclusive? Like, she didn't do none of that. You know what I'm saying? She just let Alpo be Alpo. She never tried to control that man. She was just like, yo, I know you grown. I know you doing your thing. Hey, what the hell could she do? You know? So Ms.Tee wasn't tripping about him, even though she loved him, cared for him, respected him, but she knew she couldn't control him. And she knew that, hey, I'm going to let him do him and I'm going to do me. And that's just some real stuff, Their relationship was not cookie cutter at all. You know what I'm saying? So that's just real talk, y'all. And no one can control anybody. You know what I'm saying? You go into something, you hope for the best, but at the same time, you don't control anybody. People gonna do what they want to do, whether you like it or not. But what that woman did say, when she was in his presence, he treated her with the utmost respect, and that's all you can hope for. I know that Alpo has dealt with other women, and I'm pretty sure, matter of fact, I know for a fact, I can feel it. With some of those other women that he dealt with, I bet you he wasn't that nice. I bet you he wasn't that respectful. And I bet you those other women, they wanted more of his time. They wanted more of his affection. They wanted some of his resources. And I'm pretty sure he didn't do nothing for these other women. The reason why was because, I'm just going to keep it real, he didn't rock with them like that. He didn't rock with them at all. It was just a wham bam thank you ma'am, right? But with Ms.Tee, it was beyond just physical. When he was intimate with her, he really did make love to Ms.Tee. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the other women, I'll be honest, it was just a hit it and quit it situation. And therefore, those other women, y'all didn't get the best of him. What he gave to Ms.Tee, he didn't give to other women. You know what I'm saying? And that's just real talk. Now, I am not upholding that. I'm not saying that, he was right for doing that. No. Because again, like I say, I know other women that they probably wanted his affection and they wanted more of his time. I'll say this, they wanted to have quality time with him. And they wanted to be taken out on dates by him and stuff like that. They wanted all of that. But he wasn't trying to give it to them, And again, I'm not upholding that. I don't think that's right at all if he's breaking people's hearts, you know what I'm saying? But ladies, for my ladies that's listening, that just goes to show you a man treats you how he feels about you, okay? And for my men as well, a woman will treat you how she feels about you. So if you're not getting top tier treatment from this person and they not even trying, whether you a man or a woman, well then, hey, you know where you stand. But with Ms.Tee got top tier treatment from Alpo, right? Because that's how he felt about her. But I know with other women, he didn't feel the same, and therefore those other women did not get top tier treatment. If what I said sounded harsh, it's because it is. That's just the reality of the situation. But again, I'm not condoning what he did. I'm not upholding that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't believe in mistreating people. You know what I'm saying? But I say that to say this is just how the stuff goes. And it's the same thing for my men out here. I know some men will say, she don't spend time with me, and every time I want to take her out, it's always an excuse. And when we are intimate, she lay there like a dead fish, but that's what she does with you. However, with the man that she actually wants, honey, she is doing her best and she's giving her best. So a woman will treat you how she feel about you, you know? Now, I'm not going to talk too much about Misa Hilton, only because I've never heard Misa speak about Alpo, and I've never heard Alpo speak about Misa, and I've never even seen them in a picture together. Not saying it's not pictures of them out, but I just never seen any. But then again, I never looked like that, I'll be honest. So therefore, what they had, their relationship, I can't really speak on it. I don't have much of an opinion of it because, I don't know much about them. But with Ms.Tee, of course, we've all seen pictures of her and Alpo, and I read her book, and I watched some of her videos, and she's talking about Alpo, and so I'm more qualified to talk about them than Alpo and Misa. It's a picture at the end of the book, and it's Ms.Tee, Alpo, AZ Faison, and also Ms.Tee's lawyer. His name is Jay. And in that picture, of course, Ms.Tee and Alpo sitting together. And I'm looking at the body language of them. I'm not a body language expert at all, but I'm trying my best. And they just look like Alpo. He looks so relaxed sitting next to her, happy as can be as always. And she's sitting next to him. She got her legs crossed, and she kind of remind me of a schoolgirl because she looked happy, but then she looked kind of like, kind of shy, like, oh, like my man sitting next to me. It's kind of like that energy, you know what I'm saying? But I can't stress enough how amazing the book was, you know what I'm saying? It's really heartfelt. And I left a review on her website too, but the story will make you believe in love again. It makes you believe in the power of friendship and bonds and everything of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I pray that before I leave this earth, what Alpo and Ms.Tee had, I hope I can have that one day myself, because I love their bond. I can't say it enough, because we have so many couples out here, people that's been married for a long time, and y'all don't have that bond. Y'all don't have that warmth. Ms.Tee and Alpo wasn't even together for no long time, but they had such a strong connection with each other that it just is something that I feel is gonna just, like, she's never gonna find it. I don't know if she'll ever find that again, because their connection was that pure and that strong, and what they had was pure. It's a lot of things that she left out of the book. It's a lot of things that she'll probably never put out publicly, because that's between her and Alpo. And so therefore it's very sacred. But their connection runs so deep. And I'm not a hater. It's other people that's jealous of them. You jealous of the love that they had for each other. But I think what they had was absolutely beautiful. I would have loved to have seen them walk down the aisle together. Honest to God, like, I really feel like if Alpo and Ms.Tee got married, I feel like he wouldn't be in the predicament that he's in now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just, I really would have loved to sing that, like, because I feel that they are soulmates. And we don't always have to have just one soulmate, you know? I'm pretty sure she's had several soulmates in her life, and so did Alpo. But Alpo is definitely one of her soulmates, and she is one of Alpo's soulmates for sure. I'm telling you, I can feel it. See, I'm no hater, so I'm happy for what they had. You know, I hate the situation now. You know, but I just I feel like they were meant to meet each other. It was in divine timing. Um, it was supposed to happen. There was no escaping it. You know, I really do feel that an otherworldly force brought them together, put them together. You know, even when I was just reading her book for the second time, I just finished it a couple of days ago. I got sentimental. I got like a kind of emotional reading it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not like a really sentimental person, but as I'm reading it, and you know, she when you first open up the book, it's a tribute to him. She's thanking him. And in the last chapter, you know, she's thanking Alpo again. And she's just saying, you know, Alpo, you called me beautiful and a beautiful gangster, but to me, you my beautiful gangster. And she just went on and on about what Alpo meant to her and how he's touched her life. And I ain't gonna lie, like I got kind of choked up reading that because it was so beautiful and so pure, and you could tell it was straight from the heart. Like I could feel the passion, the emotion behind those words, you know what I'm saying? And honest to God, what they had, everybody wants that. It's not one man, not one woman that don't want that. That bond, that connection, that love, that passion. You know, the two of them were attracted to each other mentally, physically, and emotionally. Alpo just did it for Ms.Tee, and Ms.Tee just did it for Alpo. Now I know what people gonna say. Well, Sable, if that's the case, then why was he with different females? And to answer your question, I don't really know because I don't know Alpo. You know, I know the nature of men. I know most men don't want to be with just one woman, at least not in the physical sense. But but yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I never sat down and had a conversation with Alpo. I never asked him nothing because I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? But I can tell you this, no matter about like all them other women that he dealt with, Ms.Tee was a priority. We'll put it to you like that. And that's just real talk. That's real deal Holyfield. Ms.Tee was simply a priority. The other ones weren't. But I'm gonna say this, Ms.Tee and Misa, I don't what's the priorities, okay? Ain't no other way to put it. You know, I mean that's just being honest, you know. And and Alpo was definitely a priority for Ms.Tee, you know. Um I just I don't know, I'm getting choked up again because I'm like really like replaying the words that I read, and um I just wonder like what if they would have just made it official and walked down the aisle? Would he be in this predicament that he's in now? You know, you just never know. But I really do feel like they were divinely put together. You know what I'm saying? And it's just an amazing book. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully, you know, one day she comes out and make a video and she can talk about her book some more, and kind of because I bought the book last year around this time actually, so it's been a year. So hopefully, she could just come out, maybe talk more about the book, you know. But that's my thoughts on the book. It's not a long read. It might take you maybe 2-3 days to finish it. It just depends on how fast you read. But as you read this book, you will find yourself getting very sentimental and emotional. You know what I'm saying? Because, and I can't stress it enough, the love that they had, a lot of people want that too. And that's what you call a once in a lifetime type of love. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't come around too often. I mean, you meeting someone that just you are attracted to them on every level. There's not one department that they're lacking in. They fill you up completely. You don't feel like you settling. You could ask Ms.Tee, did you feel you was settling for Alpo? And she would have to tell you no. If Alpo was still around, Alpo, you feel like you settled for Ms.Tee? He would have to tell you no. They truly, in my opinion, completed each other. And again, my intuition is really good. I know it's a lot of things that Ms.Tee purposely left out of that book. And I'm pretty sure it's things that she will never tell a soul that will be between her and Alpo for an eternity. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's the way I respect it. I can dig it. I can respect it. You know what I'm saying? Because certain things you definitely got to keep close to your chest, and certain things you definitely got to keep sacred. But Alpo and Ms.Tee, definitely an unexpected love. Both of them never saw this coming. They actually met each other first in the 80s. I don't think they formally met each other, but they kind of seen each other around, maybe heard some things about each other. But Ms.Tee, she was in a relationship and Alpo was just Alpo, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't meant for them to be together back in the 80s. But honey, in the late 2010s to early 2020s, that's when it was meant to be. You know what I'm saying? And it's just divine timing, you know, divine timing. And I know it's a lot of females, they gonna be jealous of T, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of women wanted to get with Alpo, but that ain't never gonna happen. And so they probably jealous of T. They'll be all right. Oh well, oh well. Get you an Alpo lookalike. And the same thing too, a lot of dudes is jealous of Alpo. You know what I'm saying? Ms.Tee has always been a popular person. She ain't never been lame or like under the radar. Don't nobody know who she is. She always been popular. She always been real pretty too. So a lot of dudes want to get with Ms.Tee, and y'all not gonna ever get the chance. So y'all might be jealous of Alpo. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, hey, that's the way it is. I'm like nervous doing this video. I don't know. But yeah, that's my review of Beautiful Gangster. It's a beautiful love story, And I think, like I say, if you are someone that you are a romantic, a hopeless romantic, and you believe in the powers of love and friendship and bonds and strong connections and sacred connections, then you need to get this book, because like what I really appreciate about it, I like the fact that it was unexpected, and therefore it's not like Ms.Tee plotted on Alpo. Alpo didn't plot on Ms.Tee. Honestly, it just happened. It just happened. They didn't see this coming. They was trying to take care of business, and business led to pleasure. You know what I'm saying? So it was a beautiful surprise, and it was organic, Like, Ms.Tee wasn't there thinking about being with Alpo like that. She was just like, okay, we gonna take care of business, and I'm going about my day, and you is too. You know what I'm saying? But who would have thought? And she says in the book, I never thought I would fall for Albert. She call him Albert, you know. So she says, like, I never thought that I would fall in love with him, you know, but it happened. They both fell in love with each other, and Alpo was not shy about it. I mean, he was very possessive over her. He was telling people, Ms.Tee is my girl. That's my woman. Leave her alone. Da 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 da. That belonged to me. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Alpo something else. That's, Lord have mercy. Alpo, you need to come back and come get her. What you talking about? You so possessive. Come back and get Ms.Tee. But anyway, it's a beautiful story. So between two beautiful people. So I hope for the people that got the book, let me know what y'all think about it. And if you thinking about getting the book, don't think about it no more. Just go ahead and get it. You know, go ahead and get it. Honestly, they look. You know what? This book could turn into like a movie, like an hour and a half movie, maybe 2 hours. I don't know, but it could be like a movie, and they could like put it on Netflix or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that. This would be a cute movie, like dead ass. Like I'm trying to think like a romantic drama, because Ms.Tee and Alpo definitely had moments where they was going back and forth with each other. Now, what I respect about it, when they did have their problems, it never got disrespectful. I don't think that man ever called her out her name. I don't think he ever screamed on her. I don't, she never screamed on him. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, it never got to the point of like extreme disrespect. They had their issues, they had their misunderstandings, but then they came back around and they worked it out. And they would constantly talk on the phone. They on the phone lollygagging from the morning deep into the night. They on the phone. Lord, now that's something I can't imagine doing. I can't imagine being on the phone with somebody for hours and hours. Lord have mercy. But that's something that she was cool with. So I guess if the conversation real interesting, you could be on the phone for mad long. But god damn, I'm like, Lord. I'm like, girl, that's a long time. But yeah, they would be constantly on the phone. Just going at it, talking and talking and talking. So they communication was on point. I love it. She never had to beg this man for communication or proper communication. They always was talking, always was texting. So when they did get into an argument, they might have, had a couple of days to themselves, and he'd call her or she'd call him, and they'd work it out, and everything will be fine, So, yeah. Before I leave, I want to tell you guys some of my favorite chapters, and then I'm gonna leave. Okay, so one of my favorite chapters is when they went to eat some peach cobbler together. I like the simplicity of the story, but you got to read the book to figure out, what I'm talking about. I like the chapter when they went out to a party, and Ms.Tee had a date with her, and Alpo brought a woman with him, and I thought it was real interesting what happened and what happened afterwards. I'm like, okay, but put it like this, Alpo got a lot of nerve. I like the chapter when she was falling in love with him and he was falling in love with her. I like that. Um, oh Lord. I like the chapter when actually the very last chapter, what I was just saying, when she was saying what Alpo means to her. I thought that was real beautiful and heartfelt. Yeah. I can't get over that chapter. That chapter's sad. Like, I be like, oh my God, like that. It be having me emotional and sentimental. You know, like that chapter's so sentimental. I'm like, oh my God, and it's the very last chapter. It's like, oh God, that chapter, man. Because my thing is like, you would hope that somebody will feel that way about you, and you hope to feel that way about somebody too. You know what I'm saying? And I keep saying beautiful, but it was the last chapter of that book was really beautiful. I love what she said to him and what she said about him, you know? So God bless Ms.Tee. God bless Alpo. Y'all got to get beautiful Gangsta. I'm so serious. If you are a romantic, you're going to love that book. And with that being said, I'm out. Goodbye.